Serena Williams. The very name carries a weight that stretches far beyond the white lines of a tennis court. For over 2 decades, she has been the immovable force in women's sport. 23 Grand Slam singles titles, 4 Olympic gold medals, and a style of play that redefined power tennis forever. She is not only an athlete, but a cultural icon, a mother, a businesswoman, and, to many, the face of resilience itself. When Serena walks into a room, the world stops to listen. And yet, in recent weeks, whispers have begun to drown out the applause. Whispers of a marriage in trouble. Whispers of a fairy tale on the verge of collapse. The reports began innocently enough. Small observations spotted by eagle-eyed fans and magnified by the digital echo chamber. A missing wedding ring here, a separate public appearance there. Soon, however, these fragments snowballed into something heavier. Tabloids suggesting Serena Williams is preparing to announce her divorce from Alexis Ohanian, the Reddit co-founder who has stood at her side since 2017. The headlines branded it a heartbreaking update. The tone was mournful, almost gleeful in its tragedy, as though the end of their marriage had already been confirmed. For a public that has celebrated Serena not just as a champion, but as a symbol of perfect balance, between career and family, between ambition and devotion, this speculation struck a raw nerve. How could the queen of resilience, the woman who fought through injury, illness, and prejudice, now be battling turmoil at home? Fans felt betrayed, tabloids felt vindicated, and the internet did what it does best. It spun stories out of shadows. But behind the noise lies a critical truth. There has been no official confirmation. No divorce papers filed, no public statement, no televised interview where Serena breaks down in tears. What we have is rumor. Rumor amplified by the celebrity machine that feeds on curiosity and scandal. Yet even without confirmation, the very idea of Serena Williams facing a personal crisis feels seismic. This is not just a sporting star. This is someone whose private life has, willingly or not, become part of her public mythology. And that is where our story begins. Over the course of this video, we will look at how the speculation started, what Serena and Alexis have, or have not, said in response, and why her silence is so heavily scrutinized. We will separate fact from fiction and ask the uncomfortable question, why are we so invested in the marriage of one of sport's greatest champions? Because if Serena Williams, the ultimate figure of strength, is vulnerable, what does that say about the rest of us? Like so many celebrity stories in the digital age, this one did not begin with a dramatic revelation or an explosive interview. Instead, it began with details so small they could almost have gone unnoticed. Serena stepping out at a fashion event without her wedding ring. Alexis Ohanian photographed at a technology conference miles away, his wife nowhere in sight. A few social media users pointed it out, and from there, the chain reaction began. In today's culture, the line between public image and private reality is paper thin. A single photograph can set fire to speculation. A single caption can be twisted into hidden meaning. For Serena and Alexis, both accustomed to living under the microscope, these seemingly trivial moments quickly became the fuel for gossip blogs. The headlines wrote themselves, "Is Serena's marriage on the rocks?" Alexis absent as Serena attends gala alone. Within days, whispers became narratives, and narratives became breaking news. Tabloid outlets fanned the flames by citing unnamed insiders who spoke of growing tension. Anonymous sources suggested the couple were living increasingly separate lives. Others claimed the demands of Serena's business empire and Alexis's technology ventures had created a gulf between them. None of this was substantiated. No documents, no official word, no hard evidence. And yet, the story spread with alarming speed, propelled by the mechanics of an online culture addicted to clicks. Fans, meanwhile, played their part in fueling the rumor mill. On Twitter and Instagram, self-styled detectives dissected every photograph, every post, every absence. Did Serena's smile look forced? Was Alexis too enthusiastic in a selfie at a conference without his family? Was a motivational quote on Serena's feed really a hidden cry for help? The digital jury delivered its verdict long before any facts could emerge. This is not new. We have seen it before with countless athletes and entertainers. The parasocial relationship between star and fan creates a dangerous illusion of intimacy. Supporters believe they know Serena personally, that they are entitled to interpret every detail of her life. But of course, they don't. What they see is the curated surface, not the messy, complicated truth of marriage. And yet, that surface is enough to fuel a storm. A missing ring becomes a signal. A separate trip becomes a symbol. a silent pause becomes a deafening confirmation. By the time mainstream outlets joined the conversation, the narrative had already crystallized. Serena Williams, the greatest champion of them all, was apparently standing on the edge of heartbreak. But here's where the responsible observer must pause. Without legal filings, without a public statement, what we are left with is nothing more than conjecture. It is a story written not by Serena or Alexis, but by the audience. An audience all too eager to watch a fairy tale unravel. If the origins of these rumors were built on shadows, their persistence has been fueled by something even more powerful: silence. Serena Williams, a woman never short of words when speaking about tennis, business, or motherhood, has chosen to say nothing about her marriage, and that silence has been deafening. In recent months, she has appeared in major interviews, cover features in Time, conversations with business networks, panels about female entrepreneurship. She's spoken openly about the challenges of balancing life as a mother of two with her role as the driving force behind Serena Ventures. She has posted candid snapshots on Instagram, Olympia dressed as a princess, baby Adira's tiny hand resting in hers, behind-the-scenes glimpses from venture meetings. But conspicuously absent from all of this is any mention of Alexis Ohanian, her husband. To some, the silence is noble. It is the choice of a private woman refusing to allow gossip to dictate the narrative of her life. To others, it is confirmation in itself, the lack of denial interpreted as proof of trouble. In the ruthless logic of celebrity culture, if you don't deny, you must be guilty. The truth, of course, is more complicated. Serena has always been fiercely protective of her personal life. She understands better than most that once you feed the machine of speculation, it never stops. A single statement, whether denial or confirmation, would give tabloids a new headline to Nolanjakin, fans a new wave of theories, and critics fresh ammunition. Silence, therefore, is not weakness. It is strategy. Yet paradoxically, the longer she stays silent, the louder the whispers grow. This is the cruel paradox of being Serena Williams in 2025. She's spent her entire career under the harshest lights, questioned about her body, her fashion, her outbursts, her dominance, every move analyzed, every reaction replayed. Now, in retirement from tennis, one might expect the spotlight to soften. Instead, it has only shifted, from the intensity of the baseline to the intimacy of her living room. For Alexis, the burden is no lighter. A man who has built his reputation in the world of technology, he now finds himself scrutinized for his appearances, or lack thereof, at Serena's side. He has occasionally pushed back against false claims online, defending his wife's privacy and reaffirming his love for his family. But in the age of social media, even declarations of devotion can be twisted. Fans reply with cynicism. If everything is fine, why isn't Serena posting about you? This relentless scrutiny highlights a deeper cultural issue, the parasocial relationship between fans and celebrities. People who have never met Serena feel entitled to decode her marriage as though it were a public spectacle, rather than a private bond. A missing ring becomes breaking news. A cryptic caption becomes evidence. The pressure is immense, not just on Serena and Alexis, but on their young daughters, who are too young to understand why the world debates their family over breakfast. And yet, amid the speculation, one fact remains. There is no divorce filing, no official statement, just silence. But in today's world, silence is never empty. It is a canvas onto which everyone paints their own story. To reduce Serena Williams to the subject of tabloid whispers is to miss the enormity of her legacy. Even if the rumors of marital strain were to prove true, they would be but one chapter in a career and a life that has redefined what it means to be an athlete, an entrepreneur, and a cultural icon. Consider the breadth of her influence. On the court, Serena dominated with a power and athleticism that transformed the women's game forever. 23 Grand Slam singles titles put her one shy of Margaret Court's record, but numbers alone cannot measure her impact. She broke barriers of race and gender, stood unflinching in the face of criticism, and inspired generations of athletes who saw in her not just greatness, but possibility. Off the court, she's built an empire that few athletes have matched. Through Serena Ventures, she has invested in more than 60 startups, with a focus on women and founders of color. These are not vanity projects. They are carefully chosen ventures that reflect her belief in building a more inclusive economy. In boardrooms and investment rounds, Serena has become as formidable as she once was at Wimbledon Center Court. Her influence also extends into fashion, where she has launched her own clothing line and redefined athletic style on and off the court. Magazine covers, red carpet moments, and collaborations with major brands have cemented her status as a style icon. And then there is sport beyond tennis. Serena is a co-owner of the Miami Dolphins, making her one of the rare women to hold equity in an NFL team. Perhaps most poignantly, Serena has used her platform to address maternal health. After experiencing life-threatening complications during the birth of her first daughter, Olympia, she became a global advocate for improving health care for mothers, particularly black women, who face disproportionately high risks. Her voice in this space has saved lives, a legacy that goes far beyond trophies or investments. So when whispers of divorce dominate the headlines, we must remind ourselves, this is not the whole story. Serena is not defined by the status of her marriage. She is defined by her resilience, her achievements, and her relentless push to uplift others. Fans who look only for scandal risk missing the deeper narrative, the extraordinary evolution of a woman who continues to shape sport, business, and society. And yet, herein lies the irony. The very scale of her success makes the personal speculation all the more irresistible. Because Serena has been larger than life for so long, the idea that she could face the same struggles as anyone else, love-strained, marriage-tested, feels both shocking and strangely relatable. The public, it seems, cannot resist peering behind the curtain. But behind that curtain is a woman who deserves privacy, a mother raising 2 daughters, a wife navigating the complexities of partnership, an icon who, even off the court, is expected to be flawless. The question is whether we, the audience, are willing to let her be human. In the end, what do we truly know? As of today, there has been no divorce filing, no public announcement, no official word from Serena Williams or Alexis Ohanian. All we have are whispers, speculation, and the narrative spun by an industry that thrives on curiosity. Yet the appetite for such stories says more about us than it does about Serena. For decades, she has stood as a symbol of power, grace, and resilience. Fans have celebrated her triumphs and cried through her defeats, but perhaps forgotten that she is human, capable of joy and struggle, victory and vulnerability. The rumors, whether true or not, remind us of that truth. They also force us to confront the uncomfortable reality of celebrity culture, our collective hunger to peer into private lives, even when the cost is a family's peace. The bigger picture, then, is not about rings or paparazzi snapshots. It is about recognizing the extraordinary woman beyond the headlines. Serena Williams remains a legend, an athlete who rewrote history, a business leader shaping industries, a mother raising the next generation. Her story cannot be reduced to tabloid speculation. So perhaps the most respectful response is also the simplest: support. Support for her privacy, for her family, for her right to live without the constant drumbeat of scrutiny. Because whether she is standing on center court or navigating the complexities of marriage, Serena Williams has earned the right to be more than just a headline. If this story gave you a new perspective on Serena Williams beyond the headlines, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Do you believe silence should be respected, or do fans deserve answers? And please give this video a like to show support for Serena and for respectful sports journalism. Together, let's choose empathy over gossip.